Were there ever times in the industry where you were told, hey, you got to tone it down a little bit on your socials with this Jesus stuff?
When I was with Columbia, I like made a post about and they were like, you got to take that down. And I didn't.
In 2022, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, I put up a video that...
Ruslan.
Hey, before we get into this video, do me a huge favor. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Huge percentage of you guys that watch don't subscribe or like. And we're now on podcast platforms. So if you're just listening to this or you're on one of the other platforms, make sure you leave a review and you're following there. That helps out a ton. We're trying to make sure that we spread out the content for you guys. All right, let's jump into this video.
I think I was making like not good music at that, like when I started, you know? And then Deathbed, like I feel like that's when I kind of started going around that time. And that one blew up. And like, yeah, I feel like God has put a lot of, he expects a lot from me, you know, with how big the song went and how much music I'm able to make and how I can live off of music. Like, I just feel like I have to, if I don't give back to God, like I'm a failure, bro. Like I have to, you know, cause he's given me so much. And yeah, so if I felt the Holy Spirit told me to start making worship music, I really believe I would, you know? And I'm praying about it and I'm reading about it. I want whoever's listening to pray about it too, you know? But I really feel like making the music I'm making has like brought so many people to know Jesus, you know? And if I was making worship music, it's like, I guarantee a lot of people would stop listening, you know? And I'm not scared for that. I know I'd get Christian listeners and stuff too, but it's like, there's already a lot of worship music, you know? I feel like there's not a lot of artists who, like, I'll post Bible verses, I'll talk about God openly. Like, I'm doing this podcast, you know? I'm not afraid to talk about God. But, yeah, I still feel pushed to make the music that I'm making. You know?
Yeah, no, I think that's good, man. That's a good tension and a good way for you to reevaluate those things because... I think we need Christians in the world. Yeah. Like we need Christians who have predominantly non-Christian audiences. And again, what's refreshing is that you don't like suppress this. You're not afraid of it. You're just like, yeah, like I'll talk about my faith. And you've been fairly, I mean, when we first connected, it was 4 or 5 years ago. And you were talking about your faith back then. You were talking about posting Bible verses, all sorts of stuff. Were there ever times in the industry where you were told or felt like, or subtly that like, hey, you got to tone it down a little bit on your socials with this Jesus stuff?
Yeah, I find this whenever you get like political, which is understandable. And I just don't talk about politics at all anymore because I really don't care. I don't think if I change somebody's mind on a political issue, it's like they still don't know Jesus, you know? So it's like, might as well know Jesus and then have your political views change after that, you know? Like Jesus is what matters, you know? And so when Deathbed first dropped, when I was with Columbia, I like made a post about and they were like, you got to take that down. And I didn't because I felt like it would be bad if I did. But
props to you for not taking it down.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
That's the issue that I hear you. I don't think that's political. Like I think we've allowed it to become political.
When I say political, I mean just biblical arguments, I guess, you know, compared to just the gospel. Like I just want to focus on sharing the gospel, especially because a lot of the people that listen to my music don't know it, you know?
Yes.
And so every time I post, I just want to, I don't want to push people away from me having arguments about these little things. You know what I mean? I just want to focus on the
that makes sense. I think that the interesting part about the gospel is it's downstream effects on everything. Yeah. Right. And how it does impact everything. In 2022, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, I put up a video that I didn't know went viral on Twitter or X. And like I had a specific close friend that like sat me down and like confronted me and was like, you've gone on the far right and you're, you know, and I'm like, far right? Like you don't know what the far right is. This is a pretty mainline position.
I would love to get into it with like Christians. Like if somebody knows their gospel, I'll talk about those smaller things because now I think we can, you know?
Yes. So this was a Christian friend, like a close friend, and he felt like the unborn was a political issue in it. And so we ended up having a really interesting conversation. So anyway, I say all that to say that like props to you for posting that at a time where I think America, I can't speak for what's up in Canada, but I think America has definitely kind of shifted more on some of these things. But I agree with you in that at the end of the day, like you can have the right philosophical views or political views or cultural views and still miss Jesus and still miss the gospel.
Yeah.
So like our goal is to be ministers of reconciliation, ambassadors for Christ, to persuade people on about the gospel, not to get them to come over to where I am on that. I think that's a byproduct of it. So like if someone's regenerated, born again, usually they'll slowly shift and come around. Like I knew that like when I came to faith in Jesus, I was fornicating, I was sexually immoral, but something like literally virtually overnight, I knew that like before Christ, if I got my girlfriend pregnant, an abortion was an option. After Christ, I knew all of a sudden it wasn't an option. And that no one told me that. No one sat me down and was like, hey, I just knew, you know? And so I think you're right in that, like, if we can persuade people to Jesus, usually the rest of their worldview falls in line. Over time, sometimes instantly, sometimes not, you know? So I think you're spot on about that. But again, kudos to you for not backing down. And you ended up, you said leaving that post up, you didn't take it down. Yeah, that's pretty gangster.
Thank you.
What was the language? Like, what would they tell you?
I don't remember exactly. I just remember they said, hey, you got to take that down. I was like, no.
And that was it.
Yeah, I don't want people telling me. I don't want to change my stance on anything because somebody told me to, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. So the music continues to evolve. Now is different than Deathbed. What is the in-between season been like? You get married, you have a kid, right? You re-sign with Columbia for, I'm assuming, like another project. And that second time around, it sounds like you kind of have a bit of a change of heart.
Yeah. So Columbia, one thing I realized is they really wanted me to just have another viral song, and they didn't really care how it happened. Like, I remember they wanted me to post like super cringy, trending TikTok things, and
they were trying to get you to do dances and stuff.
Yeah, and literally anything that would get views, even if it made me look bad, or if it went against like my aesthetic, they still want me to do it because there's a chance it could blow up, and then a song would blow up, you know? And it's like, I just realized they're not in it for the long haul. They just want that quick, super big song. And it's like, if I get a quick, super big song, it's like, that's great. But like now I look like a goof because my style, and I'm cringe. Like, you know, it's just like they're ruining me. They're ruining my career just to get a big song. And so I was really sick of that. And it's like I was saying earlier, it's really hard to tell like what they were doing. Like, I don't know how they were helping. Like, I live up in Canada too, where like there's not really any artists out there. And so it's I don't know. I felt like it was just me doing the work and they were taking a big cut because I think they're taking 70%. You know?
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I think that's like the common for major deals.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, that's a lot, man. 70%. I would think that with someone who had the momentum and the vibe and the buzz that you had, that it would be more of like a partnership. It would be like a 50-50 at least.
Yeah, no. I think, major labels is almost always 70-30, I'm pretty sure.
Jeez. Hey, we're going to go to the Patreon-only extended version of this conversation. Consider signing up for a free 7-day trial where you could see the entire conversation and get access to all of our future podcasts, be able to interact with our guests, and much more.